There is a select group of classic film scenes that people know by heart and can say lines from even if they haven't seen the movie.
I am your father.
Surprisingly, a large number of the iconic scenes from these films were actually improvised. See the lines, relive the moments, and learn how quick thinking changed these films forever. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned to the end to find out. The Empire Strikes Back. George Lucas has created a spectacular universe with the Star Wars franchise. There are memorable characters, pop culture icons, and movie quotes that fans utter on a daily basis. Despite this, Lucas often gets a bad rap for his dialogue writing, and that is mainly due to the series of prequels that fans have come to loathe. If you look back at his original trilogy, there are plenty of great one-liners and quotes, but one of the most infamous from The Empire Strikes Back was actually made up on the spot.
That's right.
During an emotional scene, a captured Han Solo is on the verge of having his body completely frozen in carbonite. That is when Princess Leia decided to showcase her feelings for Solo and utters the phrase, "I love you." In the original script, Solo's response was simply going to be, "I love you too," but both George Lucas and Harrison Ford felt like it didn't fit the character. This is when Ford came up with the "I know" line, and one of the most infamous pop culture phrases of all time was born. Ford delivered the line with such confidence and swagger that you can't even be mad for his rude response. It fit perfectly and helped add a nice humorous moment before his body became entrapped.
Sometimes you wear lead at home, but not today.
The Silence of the Lambs. The whole emotional core of Silence of the Lambs would not have worked if it wasn't for Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of Hannibal Lecter. The cannibalistic serial killer needed to showcase a genius mind who also had a psychotic side, and Hopkins was able to deliver a great balance between the two. He brought a lot to the character, including a little improvisation that elevated one of the creepiest lines of dialogue in the film. Lecter talks about his human eating habits by uttering the line,
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
As if the line wasn't weird enough, Hopkins followed it up with a strange hissing sound which really kicked up the ick factor. That one sound capped off the entire scene and was all a creation of Hopkins. The hiss actually originated from the audition stage of the movie. As Hopkins was auditioning with Jodie Foster, he added the sound in to scare her and create a little extra tension for their scene. The film director loved it so much he decided to keep it in the movie. Not only is the sound in the film, but it is made even scarier with a dramatic close-up of Hopkins as he delivers the line. Ugh.
The mushrooms are turning on me!
Knocked Up. Judd Apatow is no stranger to improv. To help get the best comedy possible, Apatow often keeps the camera running, allowing his actors to shine, play off each other, and create new moments within scenes. This method worked for a lot of different hit films, including The 40-Year-Old Virgin, This Is 40, and Trainwreck. Another comedy hit entitled Knocked Up also featured a hilarious improv scene showcasing Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd at their very best as the two characters travel to Las Vegas. Taking a bit from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, the two actors play off of each other saying, "You know how I know you're gay?" and then giving a ton of absurd reasons made up directly on the spot. The initial scene in the film lasts for just a few minutes, but an extended release of Knocked Up showcases the actors going on for nearly 6 minutes with various lines. Each one gets funnier than the last. They trade jabs at each other over seeing Celine Dion in concert, clothing choices, and hooking up with other guys. The quick wit only gets funnier as the scene goes on, and each actor is able to keep a straight face for several minutes. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark was a pivotal moment for the Indiana Jones franchise because the series needed to get off to the right start if there were going to be any sequels starring the archaeological hero. One of the more unique parts of the character was his ability to use a whip for all types of situations, including fights with enemies. There was one fight sequence that was supposed to feature Indiana Jones taking on a powerful sword fighter in the middle of a crowded city street. The night before the scene was set to film, actor Harrison Ford actually came down with food poisoning. This caused Steven Spielberg to plan on the fly, and he came up with a scene that became one of the funniest and more surprising moments in the film. The sword fighter pulls out his weapons and showcases his dazzling skills. Out of nowhere, Indiana Jones whips out a gun and shoots the swordsman dead. The sudden death offered a great laugh and showcased how pointless swords could be when going up against modern weapons like a gun. The scene also helped showcase Indiana's quick thinking and helped establish this character trait for future films. Taxi Driver. Robert De Niro's performance in Taxi Driver was an incredible character study that required a lot of dedication and passion to the role. To help De Niro really get into the authenticity of the character, director Martin Scorsese allowed the actor to improvise a lot of scenes and help create his own dialogue. For example, a lot of the coffee shop scene between Travis and Betsy was improvised, allowing them to have natural banter and dialogue with one another. Following the success of this, more scenes included improvised dialogue for the actors. This helped create one of the most iconic lines in movie history. When the character of Travis is preparing himself for a confrontation, the original screenplay only said he talks to himself in the mirror. De Niro turned this into a lot of great moments, but the pivotal line was when he looked in the mirror and exclaimed, "You talking to me?" The accent, the delivery, the multiple times that he states the line. It's all brilliant and was so impactful that the line has been parodied throughout movies, television, and other aspects of pop culture. De Niro gets told the line all the time, and it has been featured in films like Back to the Future, Part 3, Aladdin, and the TV show Supernatural.
Maybe he should be taken to a doctor. When do you think maybe he should be taken to a doctor?
The Shining. A haunted hotel sets up the perfect showcase for the adaptation of Stephen King's The Shining. The film already took a lot of liberties with the original novel, and actor Jack Nicholson took things one step further by providing some great one-liners as the crazed man haunts his own family with an axe.
Wendy, I'm home.
When his wife becomes trapped inside a bathroom, the character of Jack starts breaking down the door with an axe. Once a small opening is created, he peers his head through and proclaims, "Here's Johnny," in a creepy and sadistic way. The whole line and moment was improvised by Nicholson, showcasing his cleverness, quick thinking, and dedication to the role. A lot of younger viewers of The Shining may not realize the line actually stems from The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Every night, the line "Here's Johnny" would be stated as the talk show host was introduced. This helped add a little dark humor to one of the more intense scenes in the film. The scene had become so popular that it had been done a countless amount of times, including on The Simpsons, in a Chucky movie, and through a lot of low-budget horror films.
I guess they're right. Senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose.
I'll be right back. Don't you go dying on me!
Dumb and Dumber. There are so many brilliant scenes featured in Dumb and Dumber. The Farrelly brothers created a comedy classic with two dim-witted characters that go on a crazy road trip journey across the country. Some of the best moments in the film are when the characters interact with other people and showcase their stupidity. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels were often given free rein to push the limits of a scene and really take it into obnoxious territory. This is how we got to hear and enjoy Most Annoying Sound in the World. Early in the film, the two characters are duped into picking up a hitchhiker that secretly wants to steal the briefcase full of cash that they're carrying. Sitting between Lloyd and Harry, the man deals with question after question of pure annoyance between the two. It all culminates when Jim Carrey decides to display the most annoying sound in the world. You can feel the pain of the hitchhiker as he must sit between these two. The over-the-top scene is only made better knowing that the characters are driving around in a giant van decorated like a furry dog. This improvised scene helps set the tone for the rest of the film, allowing viewers to sit back and enjoy the ride together. The Godfather. The opening to The Godfather is not just a pivotal scene for the film, but it's one of the most iconic movie scenes of all time. Marlon Brando showcases the power he has as the leader of a mafia family, and he exudes that power with an extreme calmness about him. The scene becomes even more powerful when you realize that the violent mob leader is petting an innocent little kitten. The cat moment wasn't originally supposed to happen, but the animal was placed on Brando's lap at the last moment. His calm petting of the cat adds a lot to the scene, but that's not the only improvised moment in the film. Later on, there's a scene where the character Paulie goes on an errand to pick up a cannoli. After he is murdered, Mafia member Peter Clemenza provides instructions for the hitmen to leave the gun and take the cannoli. This funny one-liner was originally only supposed to be "leave the gun," but the actor added the extra line, and it is one of the best quick quips featured in the movie. The line shows how lightly these characters take murder, and even though it's humorous, it adds depth to the characters.
What's going on out there, guys? Give an answer, please. What's going on out there?
He made me do it. He told me to do it.
Jaws. The suspense of Jaws was almost too much to handle for moviegoers back in the 1970s. The film helped create a summer blockbuster genre and was successful thanks to some great dialogue, character moments, and of course a giant shark that wreaks havoc on tourists and citizens in the Cape Cod area. One of the best glimpses of Jaws in the film comes during a boat charter that tries to attract the massive shark. As Brody fills the water with bait, the shark lunges up out of nowhere and sends Brody backwards into a shock. He slowly walks backwards into the ship and proclaims to Quint,
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
The classic line instantly became famous after the premiere of the movie, and it was completely improvised by Brody actor Roy Scheider. This uttered line turned out to be true, as Bruce the shark destroyed the boat in later scenes and devoured its captain. The simple line is now a huge part of pop culture history and helped develop the true fear and size that the great white shark represents in the film. The line has been parodied numerous times, talked about in other fish horror genres, and been placed on all types of products, including t-shirts and posters.
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone.
The Dark Knight. When playing a character like the Joker, you have a little room to be free, add some creative touches, and really dive into his psyche. That is exactly what Heath Ledger did for his role in The Dark Knight. While Batman is the star of the story, the Joker really stole the film and is a huge highlight in any scene that he appears in. During one moment, it appears as if the Joker has finally been captured by the Gotham police. It's because of his capture that Jim Gordon gets promoted to his familiar role as commissioner. The rest of department claps for Gordon, but then there's an odd clap coming from one of the cells. It's the Joker, performing a slow clap and basically taunting the commissioner. The whole clapping scene was completely improvised by Ledger. It was made even more brilliant because of the fact that he didn't change his facial expression once during the whole scene. No one on set knew he was going to do it, and it was a great moment that was captured during a take and then reused for multiple takes afterwards. It added even more layers to the Academy Award-winning performance and showcased the impending doom that was about to come upon the police force who think that they had the Joker trapped. Wow, there you have it. What improvised moment was the greatest? Are there any that we missed? Would the movies have been just as great without them? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. The answer to our emoji quiz is